So all is in readiness. Umpire puts his ball in the air, and here is GoFooty.live's Josh Barnes.
So Chol and Smith again. I think Chol shaded him so far in that first half. Been really strong in the contest.
Oh.
And that bounce is going to come back.
That bounce was so far off going straight up that the cars in Punt Road stopped.
Headed to the Royal Hotel, that one.
Aren't we all?
And the Cats kicking with maybe a 1-goal breeze, do you think now?
Yeah, I think so.
Certainly
that was an interesting little piece of footwork.
Smith jumped and hit it by the time he was back on the ground. Selwood grabs it and he is tackled. And we're going to have another ball up. As usual.
A lot of stoppages in the first half, and it's continued that scenario at the moment.
And already, as we speak, Richmond have negotiated that loose man in defence. We only played 30 seconds, so John, we've been happy to let them have it so far this game. It hasn't really worked out in their favour. It's going to be thrown up again.
So the spare player
they all fall over.
Is Jed Buse, I think, who's pushed up as an extra at the stoppage.
And he's not that far past, is he? He's just sort of about 10 metres behind, and he's going to get the ball now, I reckon. No, Smith's going to kick it.
Smith goes long, looking for that tall timber. Fort's in good position here. A buzzer sort of got in his way there. There's been a bit of an issue today so far with that. At ground level, we'll have another ball up. 20 minutes out from Geelong's goal.
I really would have rather that Zach Smith give that ball to Busey, and he could have run and created and maybe, hit up a leading target rather than kicking the ball down there.
Yeah, and the ground's not that long, is it? So when Smith kicked it from the centre, it basically lands 30 or 40 metres out from goal. Ball spills to the front. Umpire says dropping the ball, and it'll be a free kick to the Tigers in the back line, and that will be Weller. He's played Weller today.
He's been good.
And
another interesting one on that rule there. He called holding the ball, not a throw. There's no prior opportunity there if you go a bit out of the ruck. So another interesting one. We spoke about that rule so far today. He was tackled and he let it go, but he didn't have prior opportunity. So usually that's play on. As well as punched out towards the boundary line. Richmond trying to go forward here, held up in the tackle, well held by Kappa on. We'll have a ball up on centre wing over on the far side.
Right in front of the scoreboard, brought to us by Geelong line marking and apparently by Jeep, according to Richmond. 3-7-25 Richmond, Geelong 2-6-18. We've played 2 minutes in the first quarter. Umpire throws it up. Hand pass comes down now, and that might have been McLaughlin. Kicked the ball forward inside 50 now, rolling out towards the boundary. Fogarty gets it. Hand passes over the top. Buzzer running onto it. If you can get across to his teammate and that hand pass was a little bit severe. And had Kruger's head been in the road, he would have knocked his head off. Over the top, straight out of bounds. Had it been a nice lobby into the goal square, it was an easy goal.
That's twice today.
Yeah.
Buzz has just got to have a little bit more care with those handballs, and they could have been 2 extra goals.
So it's in the forward pocket. Fort punches the ball down, touches it again, ends up in the hands of Fogarty, throws onto his left boot. That's going to go out of bounds, and it will roll out for another throw in about 20 metres around. Yeah, it was just too aggressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, far too aggressive.
Well, he was kicking it, you'd say, it would go through for a goal, but he almost hand passed a goal.
Did everything right, Buzz. He tapped it to himself, grabbed the ball, drew the defender, and then just blasted it through Kruger's hands. Kruger would have been lining up there. I think he would have got on the board as the umpire throws it in. We're in Geelong's forward pocket. Chol taps it in beautifully to Weller. They've cleared this excellently. Richmond, the ball goes long towards the wing. Smith standing there underneath it for Geelong. Over the top.
Wow.
Big leap on the Irishman as the ball's run out of bounds.
In his first game,
himself
imagine
in
that.
there, didn't he?
Taking mark of the day in your first game, that'd be pretty impressive.
He was up a long way, wasn't he? The helicopter that was going past gave him a haircut as he went past. So the umpire about to throw the ball back in, and he does that now, spinning back into play. Ball goes over the top of the ruck work. Simpson with the nice socks pulled up, as his dad has always told him to do. Follows it up nicely, gets the ball, tackled to the ground. Umpire says, I'll ball it up, in fact, somewhere between the front of the square and the centre circle for the Cats. They're going to the Brunton Avenue or Government House end of the ground. Good tap down that time. Comes to Selwood. Selwood onto McLaughlin. McLaughlin rigs it inside 50. Can't take the mark that time. The Cats in the forward line. Umpire says it will be
high free kick.
A high free kick.
I think it might be that man Kruger.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. He'd like his chances after a 6-goal haul there a few weeks ago of kicking this, Barnesy.
And doesn't it work well without the runner? Everyone's standing in front of us going, yeah, John, hey, Bill, Fred, come on. All the interchange players calling for the guys to come off. But the kick's in the hands of Kruger, and he is about 35 metres out from goal. And if he kicks this, it will be back to a 1-point margin. So let's see how he goes.
So we had a platoon change for the Cats.
He's got the big run-up happening too as well, Barnes. He's going back a fair way off the mark.
It's such a beautiful natural kick as well. Sean didn't put his phone on silent.
Sorry
as steps inside
that's
50.
ordinary.
He'll kick from 40 metres out, and he'll kick just to the right.
There must be a breeze pushing it that way because everybody's missing to the right.
Yeah, even the Tigers couldn't kick a goal from that end before.
Yes. One behind. Geelong 2-7-19. to Richmond. 3-7-25. We played 5 minutes to Newcombe Sand and Soil.
So it's brought
Geelong
in.
line marking, I should say, actually.
Indeed, you should. So ball kicked forward by Egmalesi.
Oh,
Great grab.
Egmalesi Smith, but a great grab by that man again.
Arts.
You
beauty. No, he's been good, hasn't he?
He has been since you gave him a chip earlier.
Yes.
I think we played him into form a little bit.
As is this man, Egmalesi Smith. He's been really good. Loved his run off half back.
So Fletcher brings the ball back. That's a poor kick, though, and ends up in the hands of young. I was going to say Andrew. That's not his name. It's Jed Buse. Gutsy. And kicked it directly to his opposition player in Nelson. Now, everyone had run forward, so he's now got to wait for everyone to come down into the forward line. Nelson kicks the ball inside 50. He's out there looking for Brewer. Good punch. No, not a good punch in the end. I thought Selwood had it away, but Brewer took the mark on his chest. He's going to go back and have a shot at goal, and this is going to hurt if they miss that relatively simple one at one end, and Richmond run down to the other end to potentially make a 2-goal margin.
Yeah, Jed Buse would be disappointed with that. It was a risky kick at best, Barnes. His execution had to be precise. He took the game on, and unfortunately it didn't pay off for the Cats, and the Tigers are now going to have a shot at goal.
Yeah, just about the worst possible kick in the end from Buse, and well guarded, I think, by Brewer out that side. He really used his body to keep Selwood out of it, didn't allow him to get the fist over the top, took the mark comfortably. He's got a bit of a tight angle, kick from about 45.
Go for the left goalpost, son.
He's hooked it towards the right. Oh, he's got it. He snuck that in.
That's a great kick.
Beautiful goal from Brewer from outside, just inside 50, and Richmond double their lead. 4 goals 7-31 to Geelong, 2 goals 7-19. 6 minutes and a bit, thanks to Geelong line marking.
Yeah, the Tigers capitalised on another Cats mistake there and finished off with a good passage of play. And your boy, is he next line?
He's next line, yeah, rookie, and works with my son.
Oh, there you go.
He works in commercial real estate. So Sam came home one day and he goes, "Do you remember a guy called Blake Brewer?" Yeah, he works in the office.
There
So I'll tell Sam when he's having a bit of a listen. But the Tigers just capitalising on a mistake and bringing it down the other end, Sean, and getting a really good kick by Blake Brewer.
Yeah, exactly right. And we've had a change in the ruck here. We've got who we got? 45.
We've got
Abbott. Big Ryan Abbott.
He came off before, came on when Smith went off. So tapped down by Chol. He's done really, really well in the ruck against 3 or 4 big blokes today, but Chol's pretty much done it single-handedly. Ball comes out, Brewer hand pass, great hands to Weller, but a kick in the end ends up in the hands. It could be Kennelly, I think, out there.
Yep, could be.
Curtis McCarthy.
It's McCarthy.
That's another
over this side, but his kick's an absolute shocker as well. Nelson gets in the way again.
Gives you the impression they've been told by O'Brien to take a few risks.
Yeah, they're certainly looking inboard again, which is the right thing, but the
execution is just
all off. From McCarthy, that one just rolled along the ground, and lucky to get away with that. Geelong really will have a stoppage 40 metres out from Richmond's goal. All the numbers at the ball as usual. Chol jumps high, gets over the top of Abbott. Trying to get around there. Handball backwards from Turner. Handball to himself at the end. He chases it up. It snaps around his body. McCarthy trying to make a contest. Does just enough. Ball kicked inside 50 for Richmond though. It's a high ball. In front position, the only one that went for it, but he dropped it in the end.
But that was that breeze again by the looks of it.
Might
just
have been
pulled up.
Cusack, the man we haven't called. Players dive on it. Yeah, he was in the right position there, just fell in front of him.
And once again, Ockenbaugh is front and square to that stoppage of play there. So he's reading the ball really well for the Irishman in his first game of football.
The thing that might concern the Cats at the moment is that they're 2 goals down. They've only kicked 2 goals for the game. And the breeze is picking up. So Richmond will come home with that breeze. And it now looks more like a 2 or 3 goal breeze, judging by those flags directly across the ground from us.
Yeah, they're certainly doing a bit, aren't they?
Hardly ever. So the ball goes up, tapped down this time. It might have been Weller who got the ball out. Ends up going back in, though. Lots of activity going around there. Hand pass comes out the back. Simpson going in to get the ball. He's confronted by, might have been Bolton coming the other way. And it's going to be a free kick here, holding the ball. He's pulled it in underneath, and it is indeed a free kick. And in fact, it was Ballard. Great piece of work that time by Sam Simpson. Let him go in and get the ball and then tackled him immediately. So Simpson brings the ball out, and again, another awful turnover. This time the Tigers run forward, and that turnover cost them dearly. Luke Nelson, talk about drop the microphone. I've got someone's dad standing next to me. That was an awful kick. Right idea, but awful kick. Yeah. And that's a second goal to Nelson for the day. Takes the score on to something because they put up an animation on the screen. We'll tell you what it is in a moment. It's a goal, yes, we know that. And the score, a Swinburne, yes, thank you. Let's see the scores. 5-7-37, Geelong 2-7-19, 18-point gap now, 9 minutes played. Thanks to Geelong line marking. Sean, speak.
Yes.
You had a moment to pull yourself together.
Yes, I've just pulled myself together. Yeah, unfortunately, young Sammy there, his execution on the kick wasn't good enough, and the Tigers won the footy back and kicked a goal. So
They've probably had 3 really simple goals caused by mistakes.
yeah, Buse first, and now
And in
Simpson.
every case, it's been the right idea,
Yes.
just badly executed. And that, I guess, is not a bad thing. At least they're thinking about what they're doing.
And in every case this quarter, the ball has gone to Luke Nelson. So he's getting himself in the right spot every time they've kicked it to him. As Abbott gets over the top, chases up his own work. Couldn't get through the tackle though. Oh, tapped away when McLaughlin was clever. Cheetahs gets it on his boot inside 50. They need to take a mark up here. Geelong. Buzzer goes up with one hand. That's not going to do it. At the fall of the ball, Beasley dropped it and it was thrown away without it. So he'll get a free kick.
Yeah, against Nathan Kruger there. Just hung on to the tackle a little bit too long.
That one smacked a little bit of frustration, I reckon.
Yep.
Can't get his hands on it at the moment.
And again, I think too many Geelong players flying at that ball. Buzzer jumping in with one hand is not going to help anybody mark it as the ball comes out.
And interestingly, I was watching the Geelong game last night, and one of the things that the Fox footy commentators talk about is the Geelong forward line with one up and everybody else circling. And yet, seeing this at this level,
Total difference.
it's the opposite end of the spectrum, isn't it? Gruel takes good mark, half-back flank, plays on. Umpire says go, and it goes into the centre. Poor kick in the end. Running towards it this time was Buse. He couldn't control it. Ends up in the hands of one of the Tigers players. We'll tell you who he's in.
Yeah, that man Broad. We just can't get it past him at the moment.
Yeah.
He's been really solid in defence.
You must have looked at exactly the moment he spun, because he spun about 720 degrees, and we saw his number slide past at one stage.
Drop this week from the ones Broad, and he's certainly pushing in case to return next week if they don't have a bye. So ball's thrown up. Abbott over the top of Coates, tried to slap it on his boot, couldn't quite, so Cheetahs does it instead on the left boot. Buzzer out of position, but he's at the fall of the ball again. Buzzer, can he get free? Oh, he can! Shrugged off the tackle, and the handball stuffed up again. That's taken by Beasley, and Richard will run their way out of defensive 50. Short ball finds Coates.
The irony was that time it was too soft.
Yeah, amazing. He just can't get the balance right today, Big Wiley. But there's 3 handballs today that could have resulted in 3 goals for the Cats.
And if they had those 3 goals, the scores would be level.
Yep.
18-point gap at the moment between Richmond and Geelong. It's 11.5 minutes played in the third quarter with thanks to Geelong line marking. Skippy, give him a call. You can find him on Facebook if you want his number. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but you'll find him on Facebook. Just look for Geelong line marking. That's where you'll find him.
0422188806.
I love your work, Josh Barnes. He listens to the promos, doesn't he, the boy?
It's also on my sheet.
Yeah, I knew that, but I was just trying to make out like you did some homework. It's balls out on the half-forward flank. That's a good mark taken by the Tigers out there.
Nice slow ball movement by the Tigers.
Yeah, they're being quite patient at the minute, aren't they?
Very patient at the moment.
Ball's thumped long now. That
Might have
patience
been
going out the window.
Ballard. I
Dumped
can't
long
because he's
inside
going
that
to mark
50.
it.
The forward ball. Oh, tried to give the handball off there. Kruger somehow sneaks out with Selwood actually. Comes back to Schlensog, who thumps an attempted torp, but it's going to carry over the top of the pack, is it? Beasley should have marked it, dropped it. Good tackle from Buzzer. Running there, Kennelly couldn't affect tackle. Well done. Well, he missed his boot though. Coming through, really well done by Parsons over the top to Buzzer. What's he going to do this time?
Not going to hand
Hooks
pass.
the ball towards Kruger. Well done. Good kick.
Yeah.
He looks a natural forward, Kruger, doesn't he? He really presents well. And the kick by Wiley Buzzer was really good. It was low and effective.
Amazing what happens when he doesn't hand pass.
Yeah, I think that's his go. Just kick it.
Yeah.
Timed that lead really well, Kruger. Managed to shrug Broad off at the right time. Knew the space. And was well hit by Buzzer in the end. And well done by Parsons. Is a name we probably haven't called enough today for Geelong. Came over, third man as he called there, Sean. Made that extra contest. Put out the ball forward for the Cats.
Pretty important shot, this one.
Yeah, Parso, since he kicked that goal early, we haven't seen too much of him, have we?
So again, that deliberate run up from Kruger. Distance shouldn't be a problem. It's a beautiful kick. He'll kick from just outside 50. And that one has sailed through for a goal.
It was still going up.
Goal post high, that one's gone through. Nathan Kruger gets himself on the board, crucially for the Cats. They pegged the margin back to 12. They are 3-7-25, Richmond 5-7-37. They played 13 minutes for Geelong line marking in this third quarter.
Barnes, you always know you've got confidence in your kicking ability when you've got a couple of extra metres to run up, and he just was very comfortable just to kick it from the arc and just let it sail through at post high.
That's Sean Simpson with thanks to the Wine Bunker. Go and have a look at it, winebunker.wine. He specialises in finding the very best wines in the $15 to $25 bracket.
Beautiful.
And not like some of the other stores where you go and you go, I've got 700 Shirazes to choose from. He's got 5. And they're great. They're great wines.
Sounds like you've had a sample size.
I may have had a glass of red in my time. So the umpire back in the centre. It's 5-7 to 3-7-2 goal gap to the Tigers. 14.5 minutes played. Thanks to Geelong line marking. Ball down, ball up. Smith against Coates again. So Smith certainly with the advantage in height, but the ball goes forward for the Cats. Running onto it now is Bolton. Jeez, he's a good athlete, isn't he?
Great spread from the stoppage too.
Gets the ball, kicks it inside. Jarvis, Dave Barracliffe's mate, is there, but the ball is. It's going to be a free kick to. Is that Nelson or is it Manor? It's Manor. No, it's Nelson.
Yep.
So he's already got 2.
Yeah, excellent quarter from Nelson so far.
He's been the beneficiary of a few Cats' sloppiness, and once again, a head-high tackle there. He did the bit of a Selwood duck. I thought he had a little bit of Selwood about him there. He just buckled at the knees a little bit, and the tackle went too high.
Did it well.
He did do it very well.
Schlentzog lets his hair out after half-time.
Because that's what happened.
Yeah, it's really blowing in the breeze there as Nelson steps in from the pocket, tries to measure it, and it's gone across the face. It's not going to score. Simpson at the back, clearing kick, tried to pull it in the direction of Brownless. He's taking the tackle.
Simpson to Brownless, there's that famous expression again.
Simpson dives in after it again. 4 players dive on him. They want ball, but the umpire says, give it to me.
I'm thinking of bringing a new rule in.
Talk to me.
Whenever you have something like that, as the first person who says, free kick to me, goes the other way. Nothing annoys me more than 20 blokes standing around going, drop in the ball, drop in the ball. Just go and earn a kick.
Oh, good mark there by a security guard.
That's his
first. To blast it out.
That's his first. He's pretty happy
look
with
at him,
himself.
just
Very
relaxes up
happy
at
with
the
himself.
fence
Yeah.
This is just what I do in my spare time.
One hand too, if you don't mind.
As Brownless tries to hack the ball out. Oh, Mavwell almost took a nice mark. Grew again with it. Oh, tries to shrug the tackle and he's taking the second one, but he got the high free kick.
When your hair's that red, you should be able to see it, shouldn't you?
He's been good, Brewer.
He has, hasn't he? Yeah.
Very impressed.
Came to Richmond intentionally to try and rebuild a career at AFL level. He's not one of those guys who said, I've given it away.
Yep.
Come down here to try and get himself a go with one of the AFL sides in Melbourne.
Yeah, he's been very good.
Because I think he comes from Queensland originally. That's where he grew up.
Yep.
So Broad spilled the mark, but gathered it. He's got plenty of time, so he'll go back towards Beasley. Fogarty can't get there in time. Bolton keeps going across. This is Fletcher. He looks up. Little left foot ball.
Great
Not sure it was completely intended for Cusack, but it found him.
Well, he's going to have his first possession potentially. He certainly hasn't had any at half time, but he now has.
Haven't heard much from John, but he chips this on in short. Drop mark should have been taken. Buse cleaned it up. Jarvis's left foot ball. Fletcher coming in hard as Kruger did well. Fought over the top, tried to tap it down, but there was no one there. The handball missed its target. Richmond trying to scoot back. Well done in the end by Turner onto the left boot. Constable comes in with a strong fist. And taken high again. That's Markov this time. Just slipped that time and he ended up almost headbutting Cheetahs, but it was high.
When you see Bolton run, you almost think he's taken up the wrong sport, that he should be running in the stall
doesn't
gig.
he? Yeah,
He's
He's just a beautiful athlete.
runs like a race. I was coming through, and again, outside of the boot. Was that Nelson again?
It is, in fact, Nelson. That's his third for the day. And arguably a contender for the Bonnie Energy goal of the day, because he came in, did what he needed to do and grabbed it and ran through to Sean Simpson with thanks to the wine bunker.
Yeah, he's actually off balance when the ball was about to hit his boot. It wasn't a real technically good ball drop, but he corrected his foot and he followed the footy with his foot off the side of the boot and threw for a goal. So well done to the young man. He's had a really good start to this quarter, although we've gone 18 minutes.
We don't spend a lot of time this close to the players coming off the ground normally because we're really close. It's a fantastic position.
Yes.
And thank you to the Richmond Football Club for setting us up here. It's really, really good. But gee, some of them look exhausted when they get in.
Yeah, well, I think that's the idea. Get on, do your work, get off.
Yeah, but they sprint. How come they always sprint to the bench? They don't sprint that hard during the game. What's that about?
Well, they only get a certain window of opportunity to get off the
suppose.
ground during a goal when a goal's kicked, so they've got to get off.
So umpire back in the centre, it's the Tigers by 3 goals, 6-7-43. Geelong 3-7-25, 18.5 minutes played. Geelong line marking scoreboard. Kick forward this time by Constable. Ball rolls inside 50. Fought out there playing against Caulfield. Caulfield's been solid in defence again. Always seems to be.
Yeah, he's been pretty good.
Reliable. We were looking for someone to break open the game, Sean. I think we found it with Luke Nelson this quarter.
Yeah, he's been good.
Excellent.
Yep. In contrast, Darcy Ford has probably been a little bit quiet for the Cats.
Yeah, again, I think his problem, he gets hands to the ball quite a bit, but he's just not sticking at the moment for Fort. Just going to have to work on that. Good tap down, though, coming through Parsons. Shot and goal from 45 metres out is to the right.
And that
Way to the
Bermuda
right.
triangle
That sticks in
down
for a
there.
behind.
Extraordinary,
Got the
isn't
footy
it?
again.
So it's 3-8 to 6-7. So that now means in 6.5 quarters of football, Geelong have kicked 8 goals, 13. Not going to win too many games if you do that. So the ball in the hands of Weller in the back pocket, kicks the ball long. And Smith punches it forward. Selwood in good position, gets it, hands it down to his teammate there.
Great work by Schlensog.
Schlensog it is, indeed. We can tell by that hair. And ends up in the hands of Kennelly. Didn't know what to do with it. Hand pass to Fogarty. Fogarty now off to Constable. And at last, the Cats get one. Constable's first for the day. Geelong's second for the quarter. And I think it's fair to say, Sean Simpson, with thanks to the wine bunker, they needed that one.
Yeah, and great work by Schlensog. He was really good. He's very nimble too. Loved his footwork getting through traffic. He moved really well there.
He really did the right thing. He could have chucked it on the boot straight away, but he saw there was a gap for him to get through and went with it. He got a shove as he tried to kick the ball inside 50, so it wasn't a great kick, but he did the right thing in trying to create some space. And a clever tap by Abbott as well, I think, helped set that one up.
So we're just entering time on. It is 6:7:43. The Tigers, Geelong 4:8:32. That is an 11-point lead to Richmond. 20:20 is the time clock. Geelong line marking is the scoreboard sponsor. We love Skippy and his lines.
Yeah, he's a beauty, Skippy. He doesn't miss a beat with his lines. Best lines in town.
Yeah, absolutely. And sounds a bit like he should be a comedian, but that's okay.
Certainly better lines than any of us.
Thank you very much. Ball, beautiful piece of work running through the centre. Fogarty gets the ball deep inside 50. That's what they needed to do. Ball spills to McLaughlin. Left foot's round the body, smothered in part, coming out the other side of the Tigers, and that's what the Cats need to do. They need to get in there quickly. It's coming straight back. That's a good mark out there, and it should be fifth.
Yeah, Ben read there, guys. He's read the ball well in flight there.
He said it says Sharon. So he kicks the ball in, and that is a good kick. And Scholes slipped over, and Abbott took the mark.
Uncontested in the end.
Indeed, yeah. Well, 15 metres in the clear because Scholes slipped over.
It almost looked like Reed was trying to load up for the long bomb there at the last minute, pulled it short.
Maybe saw Scholes slip.
Yeah.
Don't jump, Jack, whatever you do. So we've got one of our players just near us here looking over the edge of the balcony. You don't want that happening.
And Ryan Abbott, he's been on the goal kicking list too the last few weeks. He's kicked 2 goals last week, so he'll be liking his chances here from directly in front.
He's usually pretty reliable. He'll kick this from 35 straight front. And as I say, he's blasted that out towards the porta potties.
What on earth were you talking about?
Gee whiz.
Can we get him then? Big time.
4-9-33, 6-7-43. 10-point lead to the Tigers, 22 minutes played last. Third quarter, thanks to Geelong line marking. Good body position that time. Did you see the ball pull up?
Yes, I did a bit. And Child was a beneficiary of that.
That's going to play into the hands of the Tigers in this quarter, you would think. Good punch that time. Coming through was Ockenbar. He got his hands to the ball, but good work by Street here on the wing. Gets it off now to his teammate in Turner. Turner's kick is not a particularly good one, so it comes back in a hurry by Reed, and that's going into a what is the collective of Tigers? Is it a den of Tigers?
Yeah, I think they live in a den.
Yep, so they kick the ball out wide, and there goes Beasley.
Yes, so Beasley crosses it out along the outer side. Trying to find a way forward here. Mark was taken and then dropped.
If it was a custard tart, it'd be all over his jumper, wouldn't it?
And Nathan Broad again involved in that passage of plays. Nearly got his own footy out there at the minute.
Yeah, he's done well today. Thinking about, of course, Top Cat, brought to us by the Mount Moriac Hotel, where apparently they've had recent renovations. So we're looking for the Geelong player that we think's done the most for the team. This time Smith did well in the ruck, kicks the ball long to a one-on-one, and that's a great piece of body work by Caulfield, just to hold his opponent in Capron out, and away they go, the Tigers down the far wing.
Yeah, Capron's been playing deep defensive mode and shifted forward. Cheers takes a very strong mark back with the flight to intercept. Geelong pushing here to reduce the margin.
This is the forward entry, Barnesy, that they've just got to be really careful of.
Yeah, no options at all there for a short lead there. Nobody even made space. Ball forward. Mark has been paid inside 50.
Was that anyone whose hands on, I think?
It might be Fort. We've been asking for him to pick up, and right on cue, he's taken a clunk.
Again, he got 2 hands to it, but held it this time.
Longbar's got a bit of tape on the eyebrow there.
Yeah, he had that before the game, I noticed.
Yes, I saw that as well.
If he caught one during the week or in the warm-up even.
Yeah, friendly fire, I think they call it, don't they?
Yeah, before your first ever game.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens with the Bermuda Triangle here, Neil.
Indeed. Fort goes back and kicks a goal.
Beautiful kick.
That is a great kick, and brings the margin back to 4 points. In fact, I'll try that again. 5 points, probably the closest it's been since the first quarter. It is the Cats now. Oh, good on you. These animations on the scoreboard, don't you love them? Yes, we know it's a goal. Thank you very much. Richmond 6-7-43. Geelong 5-8-38. 24 minutes played, third quarter. And Sean Simpson, that was just a beautiful kick off the boot, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good. And good for Das. You know, he's taken a mark. He's gone back. It was a pretty tight angle, and he kicked the ball from 50 metres. So it was a good goal in the end, and hopefully his dad's up there in Queensland listening to us today. So hello to him.
Oh, he's part of the Brisbane forts, not the Queenscliff fort.
No, the Brisbane fort.
Different fort, yeah. Okay, yeah, there's a fort at Queensland, Queenscliff, isn't it?
There is, I believe.
It's an interesting short run up there as well, Sean. He only took sort of 4 or 5 steps and just got into it. Looked like he was pretty comfortable with it from that distance as well. It's bounced again, very high bounce. Smith goes over the top.
The ground's drying out.
Mav Weller shreds off the tackle.
He's been good today, Weller.
He has.
Plenty of it.
Kicks out wide. Couldn't really find Silvestro, and the ball was paddled out of bounds. Out in the full, says the boundary umpire.
Come off the back of his foot. So if he was cleared to Geelong, he'd become Silvestro the Cat, wouldn't he? So the ball, half forward flank. Oh, I thought that was quite clever. Half forward flank and punched out bunched out of bounds just near that centre circle. That's not the centre circle. Obviously used for training drills by the Tigers at training. Half forward flank, 35 metres around from the goals. Umpire tosses the ball back in, spinning. Smith against Chol. Ball spills to the front, and Geelong player there slung as he hand passed it, so it goes up in the air, all up, none down. Ball is going to be, free kick's going to be paid to the Geelong player who got crunched in the front.
Ben Reid.
And it was Ben Reid, yes, thank you. Well done, sir. Knew we had you here for a reason. Apart from your insightful wisdom, obviously.
Another player who'll be quite high up in the Geelong best and first at the whole level from what we've seen this year. Been excellent read. Ball out towards Chol though, and that's going to be a free kick for chopping the arms.
We better say hello to Richie Fort, who's up.
Yeah, good afternoon to Richie. Great to hear him listening in.
I got all very excited when he liked our Facebook page. I thought it said Richie Port when I first looked. I thought, we got a 2 at a France. But when we were even more pleased to find out it was Richie Fort. So out on the half forward flank for the Tigers.
And it is blasted in long again. Smith in good position should mark this and does.
Almost didn't.
Yeah. It's always wobbly under the high ball. He chips out towards Selwood. Handball over the top to Constable. And again over the top. Buzzer gives it, misses him.
Another missed handball by Wiley.
Bit of work to be done during the week by Wiley on his handballing as Richmond go back the other way.
We don't want him on World of Sport. He won't win the Patra Orange Juice.
Another wobbly ball inside 50. Kennelly over the top with a big fist. Didn't get a lot on it. Handball back, snap on goal. Goes across the face. That's going to go out of bounds.
Yes, and that man, Skippy Carroll. Good to see it.
Very good. Look at him on facebook.com/Geelong line marking. Ball tossed back in, very close to the behind post. Richmond into the ground. They'd be looking to score here. Playing for the free kick, never like that. Umpire says play on. Ball kick forward. Coming out to meet it. That was Turner who took it on the schnoz. That might have been holding the man, and the umpire agrees with me. That'll be the first time that I've been agreed with by anybody. And Tarka gets the free kick half-back flank for the Cats.
Does the right thing and moves it on quickly because it's even numbers down in front of the ball now. But coming across was Caulfield. Did well. McLaughlin went with one hand. Kept it in. No. Pound jumper was onto it in a flash.
Yeah, he was in good position there, Barnesy, right on the line there. And
McLaughlin almost got away with it. I thought it was a line ball. That's what the boundary umpire is there. He's watching that line.
Yes.
Thrown in now, Geelong pressing to try and take the lead before three-quarter time. Chol gets to front position, taps towards Brewer, Constable in fighting him for it. Call that a jump ball, I think.
Tell you what, our boundary umpire down here, because there's 4 boundary umpires. This one down here is very sartorially elegant, isn't he? His hair's beautiful.
So it reaches over the top, Cheetahs has it, and Bolton's not letting him go anywhere. So we'll do it again.
28 and a half
Few words
minutes.
spoken, Cheetahs isn't happy about it.
Oh, give me one of them under the chin.
Doesn't mind a fight, Cheetahs. I learned that in the under-16s.
Oh, name drop. Oh, you want to pick that name up, please?
Ball goes over the back. Brownless in there hunting for it. Buzzer slips it out of his hands. Kruger, he's over the top of it. A couple of people jump on him. McLaughlin snap from the pocket. He's going to float out of bounds.
That's a goal. We know it's a joke, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been good though, Jacko McLaughlin. I liked his quarter. He's been pretty busy.
And that's what you want someone of that size to be. You don't expect him taking the towering marks, do you? You just want him to be busy.
That's exactly right.
Ball goes out. Okerman tried again for the big jump. Went a little bit early that time.
He's seen it on the TV. He thinks, I'll have a go at that.
Yeah. Didn't really jump. Just probably put his knee into the opponent's back. Still learning on the job though.
It's funny to watch these guys from Ireland, particularly, isn't it? Learning the game.
Yeah. Guthrie makes a run at this one for Geelong. Got 2 hands so it couldn't mark. or ground level, fighting over it again. That'll be Ballard in there, I think.
And the Americans, I saw Jason Holmes, I think his name was, used to play for St Kilda
yes.
at Sandringham, and also Mason Cox when he was coming through the first few seasons. They
Yep.
had no idea.
No.
They just stand in the wrong place. You know, it was just really funny to watch, and you think, well, actually, I suppose I grew up playing it, didn't I? Bolton coming through, really good effort that time. Good hand pass in the end, ends up with Turner, can't follow it up now. Coming the other way is Arts.
Wow.
He thinks he's been hit by a train.
Now that was the Irishman,
Yeah.
Stefan Ockenbaugh.
Really hit him hard there,
Wow.
Ockenbaugh.
Can't question his commitment to the cause. Gets
He's
it
an
out now.
absolute unit too.
Isn't he?
Egg Molestis Smith gets the ball out further. This time it's in the hands now of Markov. Haven't called his name very much today. Runs around several players,
way.
runs a long way. And the
And he's
umpire
got
said, yes, we don't mind you running a fair distance, but when you've run the full length of the ground without bouncing the ball, we're probably going to take it off you. Now, lots of advice coming from the Geelong bench. They obviously know how much time there is. We know how much time has gone. It's 30 minutes and 17 seconds. It is 6-7-43. The Tigers 5-8-38. The Geelong, and that will be the three-quarter time scores in that quarter. Richmond kicked 3 goals straight. The Cats kicked 3 goals and 2 points to take a slightly smaller margin into the three-quarter time.